Chris Jarvis with 3BL Media TV, and I am at the Canadian Business for Social Responsibility Summit number 8, and I've been joined by Dr. Karl-Henrik Robert of The Natural Step. Can you tell us, Dr. Robert, a little bit more about The Natural Step, what it is, what it does?
I'm a cancer scientist and a medical doctor, cancer doctor, reflecting way back, more than 20 years back, how wonderful people are when they are challenged by deadly diseases, when it's about helping each other, and how wonderful society is when it's about helping deceased citizens and so forth. At the same time as I made another observation, that same species, humans, being that wonderful when they need to be, destroy their own habitat. And I decided to create an NGO whereby I would ask scientists, business people, policymakers, for advice how to create that big picture into a robust definition of sustainability so that people could begin acting accordingly. That was the whole idea of The Natural Step, and that's what we still are doing. It was created in Sweden, but it's now an international organization in 15 countries. It's all around the world, on all continents. Okay. All these offices are doing the same. Engaging business executives, policymakers and scientists to refine a framework for robust decision-making towards sustainability and improving on bottom line business at the same time. Because we have shown that you can optimize your bottom line chances as well if you know better than your competitors how to define the big system and the problem in it, and then make your own company part of the solution rather than the problem.
So an important part of the approach is what you call backcasting, and that's from the principles that you outline as part of The Natural Step. Can you explain that a little bit to us?
You project them as success into the future and ask yourself backwards in time, backcasting, what shall I do over there today to get there tomorrow? The main issue is that the direction must always be right when you move. So even if you can sometimes only take small leaps, for instance, by financial reasons, or for instance because you are waiting for someone else in the system that needs to do it, you still move in that direction. And the point is that when you've done that enough, celebrating by high fives and other means your early wins on that journey, our experience is that the journey goes faster and faster and faster as more and more people want to join the winning team. So in Europe, this cat has been out of the bag longer. They are more accustomed to the necessity of sustainability because it actually means survival of civilization and business. They have begun to realize that they are in deep problems unless they address those issues, and the policymakers have been a bit more proactive. On the other hand, Europeans are a little bit more contemplative. They want to problematize stuff. In this community, in this culture, they are much more aggressively focus-oriented, which is an advantage. Even if they have not been at it so long, they have some kind of vitality in it. And in Sweden we know that even a mediocre ice hockey team from Canada is deadly dangerous, because they know that the puck is supposed to end up there in the goal and you don't get any extra scores for style or anything, just shove it in there. So that vitality is like tailor-made for backcasting from principles, because when they begin to see that goal, they act aggressively towards it, and I love that.
You're saying that hockey may actually be the key to sustainability in Canada.
It's a good metaphor. This is exactly like a hockey game. This is the goal. What are the strategy? Well, stepwise get there by distributing the players on the field, working together with one and the same model for winning in your heads, namely scoring. And that's how we should work across value chains and sectors as well. Take a simple story. Say that I would address a car manufacturer and say, why don't you begin producing cars that can run on different alternatives of renewable energy, for instance? They would immediately respond, you must have a mental problem. There is no infrastructure to sell that in the fuel industry. And if I turn to them and say, why don't you begin to sell that? They say, what's your problem? There are no cars running on it. Obviously, we need cross-sector cooperation with a shared mind of what the whole world will need later on. Because we are all in deep problems unless we organize sustainability, and we need cross-sector cooperation. The problem is that for one sector to cooperate with another, they need to have one and the same definition of winning at the principal level. Then they can recruit the relevant staff from each sector and put it together into joint action. But if they have different ideas what sustainability is, it won't work.
What are your impressions of CBSR and what's going on here?
It's a beautiful mix of elegant, clever, experienced business people. That's one.